Welcome, everyone. My name is Stephen. I will be leading today's service. A little bit about Sanctuary Church for those who may not have joined us before. Sanctuary is a 508c1a faith-based organization. We use psilocybin mushrooms as a sacrament to connect us to divinity. It is our sincere belief that the consumption of psilocybin-containing mushrooms is a communion which brings us closer to what is commonly called God. We understand this concept as pure consciousness, which permeates all being. This pure consciousness is, we believe, the ineffable source of creation and the origin of health and well-being. Our faith in sacred mushrooms stems from prehistorical use by our ancestors and personal experiences of our modern members. It is our belief that psilocybin-containing mushrooms are one of the greatest sacraments that nature offers, raising our awareness so that we can access a direct connection to the source of life. We should not be mistaken for a medical or therapeutic organization. We encourage anyone facing trauma recovery or mental health issues to work in conjunction with a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or accredited therapist. Our objective is to help and support you in reconnecting with the universal source of healing, your own divine spirit. As we get ready to begin today's service, we ask that you mute your mics if they're not muted already. We want to let you know this meeting is being recorded, which if you have any questions about, feel free to reach out privately. A portion of this service, we will invite you to journal, so now would be a good time to grab a notebook and pen if you'd like to participate in that. Please do, if possible for you, find a comfortable space where you can relax and be present for the service. The service portion of our gathering is about 30 minutes of silent participation on your part, during which time we will begin with a short meditation. We'll read the poem, which the church has adopted as our acknowledgement of oneness with all that is, titled A Litany of Gratitude, a reading from our rotating text, along with an opportunity to journal your thoughts around the reading, a reading from our main text, the Tao Te Ching. After that, we will bring the official service to a close. From there, we'll move into an optional discussion period run by Johan today. We have allotted 90 minutes for this portion till 12 p.m. and do invite you to participate if you so feel called. Welcome and thank you for joining our Sanctuary community in celebration. As we begin our statement of faith, we recognize that this statement does not exhaust the full extent of our faith. We believe that sacred mushrooms are a primary source of personal and divine revelation. We seek counsel from the mushroom to find direction and inspiration in our faith practice. And we believe that all individuals who seek true revelation from divinity can do so. All right, we will now go into our meditation. I invite Christine.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Good morning, everybody. I welcome you into this meditative space for these few minutes together. And please make any adjustments that you need to so that you are comfortable. And we begin with observing our breath. In that way, we connect by simply observing, coming into awareness of our breath just as it is. Noticing the rise and fall of your abdomen, the in and out of your breath. And from here, we'll do a brief mindfulness body scan in that way of bringing awareness to aspects of our body. And during this little practice this morning, feel free to place the palms of your hands somewhere on your body if you'd like. And begin by observing, just noticing the area of your head. Notice any sensations. And notice the thoughts, but simply let them pass through. Notice any emotions that come up throughout this process. And then just dropping your awareness into your shoulders and chest area, front and back. Again, simply noticing what is present for you. And now into your arms, your upper arms, elbows, forearms, and hands, your healing hands. Simple awareness. And draw your awareness now back up through your arms, across your chest, and into your diaphragm area. That's connecting your chest, your diaphragm, all across your back, around the sides. And dropping even further into your abdomen and low back. And we'll sit here for just a few seconds. So where attention goes, energy flows. So we continue to drop our attention, our awareness, connecting all the parts of your body, dropping into your pelvis, lower buttocks, down into your thighs, your knees, the fronts and the backs and the sides of your knees, into your calves and shins, and down into your ankles and your feet. Noticing your feet all the way to your toes, wrapping around to the bottoms of your feet, where your body touches the earth, walking on this earth. Continue to have awareness of your breath as we enter this space, this sacred space together this morning. And open your eyes if they're closed. And maybe even take one long, deep breath. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. We will now take a couple moments to acknowledge those members participating in our subtle sacrament program. All right. We will now read our poem, Litany of Gratitude. I invite you to unmute your mics and repeat with me when I say, we live in all things live in us. We live by the sun, we feel by the moon, we move by the stars. We live in all
things.
All
things live in us.
We eat from the earth, we drink from the rain, we breathe of the air. We live in all
things.
All things live in us.
We call to each other, we listen to each other. Our hearts deepen with love and compassion.
We live in
all things. All things live in us.
We depend on the trees and animals. We depend on the earth. Our minds open with wisdom and insight. We live in all
things.
All things live in us.
We dedicate our practice to others. We include all forms of life. We celebrate the joy of living and dying. We live in all
things.
All things live in us.
live in us.
Thank you. You'll resume your mute. All right, we'll move into our first reading, and I invite Susan.
Good morning. This reading is from Secret Tradition of the Soul by Patrick Harpur. Anthropologists have found that many traditional peoples have the idea of bush souls that are in the form of animal counterparts. This is a ubiquitous theme. For instance, killing a tiger that turns out to be a weir tiger, weir from the Anglo-Saxon for man, when they found the tiger to have the same gold-plated teeth as its human counterpart. There were similar beliefs in Europe until recent times. There are numerous variants of the tale of the hare hunt in England, for example. When the hare was shot and its leg was wounded, the hunters would follow the trail of blood to a remote cottage where an old woman was found to be dressing a wound on her leg. The woman, of course, was a witch, and witches have always been credited with the power of shape-shifting. The Naga of India, however, do not claim to turn into an animal, but that their soul is projected into the animal, which can be recognized as human. Shape-shifting is typically and universally attributed to shamanism, sorcerers, and medicine men and women. However, there is a range of subtle distinctions in how they can do it by projecting into or becoming the animal. Traditional cultures are either vague about the means by which a human changes to an animal, or they have different theories. They assert a duality of soul and body, but they deny the dualism that marks our theology. They insist that the soul and the body are inseparable, but they deny that they are separate. This idea of duality can be misleading because it often actually means by presence. The sorcerer is both human and leopard at the same time in two different places. Humans, it seems, are convinced of their dual nature, whether expressed as soul, body, mind, brain, energy, matter, or human, animal. The many ways we depict our duality show how intensely we are engaged in the attempt to imagine our paradoxical nature. The way in which traditional cultures are untroubled by contradictions may suggest that our attempts to always resolve them are simply a result of our modern outlook and may not be desirable or even possible.
Thank you, Susan. Today's reflection: in what ways can you imagine paradox, defined as a person, situation, or action having seemingly contradictory qualities or phases, being useful in understanding the nature of the soul or even the nature of existence? We'll set a timer for 5 minutes and then we'll rejoin.
Hmm.
We have about 30 seconds left, so if you want to finish up your thoughts. Okay. The paradoxical nature of life and its mysteries are best experienced through the ineffable space we find in our communion with the mushroom. For more than 2,000 years, the Tao Te Ching has provided guidance and instruction for exploring the paradox of existence. It is for this reason that we employ the Tao Te Ching as our primary sacred text and invite all to study it further as you delve deeper into the mystery of life. I invite Kevin for our second reading.
Thank you, Stephen. Tao Te Ching, chapter 30. He who knows how to guide a ruler in the path of Tao does not try to override the world with force of arms. It is in the nature of the military weapon to turn against its wielder. Wherever armies are stationed, thorny bushes grow. After a great war, bad years invariably follow. What you want to protect efficiently your own state, but not to aim at self-aggrandizement, which is the action or process of promoting oneself for being powerful or important. After you have attained your purpose, you must not parade your success. You must not boast your ability. You must not feel proud. You must rather regret that you had not been able to prevent the war. You must never think of conquering others by force, for to be overdeveloped is to hasten decay. And this is against Tao. And what is against Tao will soon cease to be.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, we'll move into our announcements. Our first announcements will be, I turn it over to Poe.
Good morning. Still waking up here on the West Coast. So virtual workshops this week include, these are Eastern time zone. Today at 1 p.m. we have Postradelic with John. And then Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. the Internal Family Systems with Deborah. And also on that Tuesday at 8 p.m. LGBTQ plus Pride Month Sharing Circle with Brian. And then on Saturday at 11:30, there is a book club with Susan and Jason, and they're currently reading The Sacred Nature, Restoring Our Ancient Bond with the Natural World. You can find all upcoming member workshops in the members-only virtual events calendar page in your member portal. If you're interested in leading a members-only virtual workshop, please reach out for a link to our leadership application.
Hey, Poe.
Yes.
Poe, can I just interject here on behalf
Sure.
of the book club?
Yeah.
We just met yesterday on that wonderful book, Sacred Nature. So that one has been passed, but our next book club will be July 8th. And we are reading An Immense World by Ed Yong, How Animal Senses Reveal the Hidden Realms Around Us. Thanks.
Thank you, Susan. So this, I hope I'm reading the correct announcements. This Wednesday, Christina will be leading our Sacred Summer Solstice community. Christina, is that correct? Okay, well, we're hoping that is.
Sorry, this is Honor. I'm going to be there with Christina. Yeah, I need to confirm that she'll be there, but yeah, we're planning to be there Wednesday.
Okay. And that'll be 6 to 8 p.m. at the Clifton Universalist Unitarian Church on Payne Street off Frankfurt Avenue. And that's in the center of the known universe, Louisville, right? Louisville. This event is offered at no suggested cost for official Sanctuary members and is suggested $10 to $20 for non-members. See our community events calendar on sanctuary.org to register. Applications are now open for our late July-September cohort of subtle sacrament, cultivation, myself and friends and family minister programs. Becoming an ordained minister gives our members the fundamental education, greater protection, and continuous support to administer sacred mushrooms to ourselves and friends and family who are also official members. If you've been a member for 4 weeks by the program start date, you can submit your application until July 9th. We are so grateful and honored to now have over 80 ordained ministers within our community, and we're only just getting started. You can find links to apply at psanctuary.org or in your member portal. Mark your calendars for West Coast Sunday service, led via Zoom on the first Sunday of each month, hosted at 10 a.m. and that's Pacific time. If you're interested in assisting with either of our East or West Coast Sunday services, please email our volunteer coordinator, Nancy, at volunteer@sanctuary.org. And I will be posting links for the various calendar and donate and membership in chat. Thank you. Back to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Poe. Next up, fundraising. James, are you there, sir?
I am. So not a lot of huge news, as I think we all know. We have some members at PlayThink this weekend. This is the last day, so I imagine we'll hear more about how that went in the days ahead. But just a huge thank you to everybody who helped out with the plans. We asked last weekend if people could, and we were lucky enough to get a lot of donations. So I imagine that really did have a big impact on the PlayThink space, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that next week when everybody's back from the event. But in the meantime, thank you all for stepping up and helping out.
Thank you, James. Membership, Nancy.
Thank you, Stephen. I somehow did not get the new members list this time, so we will have the new members read next week.
All right, thank you. Okay. We come together with intentions of service to the land and all its inhabitants. It is in our hearts to go forth into the world with the collective consciousness. We encourage you to stay for continued fellowship and conversation around our readings today. For those unable to stay, we thank you for being with us. Today's discussion will be led by Johan. As we further our conversation, please remember that all perspectives are welcome as we search for the spiritual truth that unites us all. Much love.